What's up, everybody? I see y'all, and welcome back to Sweet the Podcast Live, episode 33. Damn, we getting up there. It's past how old I am. Womp, 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 womp. We've been in this thing, and we still going. So, this intro, you know the intro, I'm just going to run it, but we switched it up a little bit because of our guest.
Display the profile of this team.
Sweet.
Ow! Maybe she can teach me how to vogue and pop it, son. Y'all ain't ready for that. I see her voguing in the background. So let me stop running my mouth. None other than the one, the motherfucking only, the THEE B.Ames. What's up, baby?
Hi. Thank you for having me.
And I thank you for agreeing to do this. How are you doing, and how is the Noya?
I am doing good. A lot better. Everything has obviously been a transition, but I'm back in a good headspace, in a creative space, and making shit happen. So
you gotta do take time to get you right first, and
yes,
you can create, baby.
Absolutely.
And by the way, you look fucking gorgeous, amazing. Yeah,
Thank you.
So just jumping straight in it. You're a producer, you're a creator, artist, mother. I just want to know, how can you give us a little bit about your upbringing? Where are you from originally, and who is B.Ames?
Okay.
Whatever you want to share.
Oh, I mean, we can get into it. That's fine. Okay.
Let's go.
So, born in Louisiana. I'm a Louisiana girl. Born in Monroe. I grew up Brobridge, Lafayette, around that area for like half of my childhood. Mm-hmm. Mom was a military woman, so she was always traveling, doing her thing, just making sure she had food on the table for us. So basically, I moved from there to Virginia, and then that's where a lot of the things started changing, and I actually I was able to tap more into my musical side. When I was younger and I was living in Louisiana, I was very drawing, painting, artsy, that kind of thing. But it wasn't until I moved to Virginia I started exploring that. This is the short version, the musical side and all that. So it and then I just started learning how to merge everything into one. So yeah.
And when you were in Louisiana, you did the art, you draw. So I see, is that your work behind you? First off, because
this is my friend Aiden who drew that of me. This is is just a picture that I took on my phone. My little sis Paulie photoshopped her, made her look smooth or whatever, and then we did printouts, and I gave some to my girlfriend. So yeah.
Okay, shit. So boom. Now, when you started doing music, were you always interested in producing? Did you play an instrument? What made you want to get into creating music?
Here's the thing. Okay, and I love telling this story. When I was younger, one of my first memories was I was in the backseat, I was in the car, and I was with my, I believe it was my aunt and my uncle, and we were just riding. And you know the song My Boo by Ghost Town DJs? Iconic. And so I was just listening to the song, listening to that, and very into that, just singing the words. And then one of them was like, "Oh, that's a girl song. You can't be singing that." Because then I was a little. I didn't even know who I was at the time. Music was music, and it just so happens I have an appreciation for femininity that can come with music and the power that has, and the admiration to female artists. But that's a whole nother, we'll get there.
We gonna come back to that, because I want to tap right on that.
Yes. So basically that was just kind of one of my things. One that kind of made me think like, okay, is there something different about me or something? And then, but also that was one of my first memories. So it was just kind of like, music has been always in me. It's been in my family, whether people in my family's doing mix CDs, things like that. There, like, music was always constantly playing, everything from all kinds of genres, things like that. So then when I moved to Virginia, I was very carefree in Louisiana, all those things. But then I moved to Virginia. And then things got really religious because my mom, no shade, my mom found her faith in Jesus and Christianity and all that. Then she got married, and then things just kind of went downhill from there.
From the family aspect, right? From a family
aspect, yes. From dealing with my family. So my mom got married, and then he's just like this macho, like, military guy and all this, and I was just this little faggot, just like being me, not just, and then ever since then, just things changed. And I kind of like, there was a lot going on in this situation when I was living there, because it was just like this, I would get all, like, even when I was listening to Christian music, I would get all the, like, Mary CDs, I would get all the Kiara Shears, all of that, the Stacey Ericos, all of the things, the Clark sisters, hello, and I would still be into that, Out of Eden, just Trinity 5-7, so many, and like, I just got so much inspiration from that. But at the same time, I was dealing with some heavy things. So my start with music started actually with when I got one of my first computers, and it was Windows Movie Maker. And then I put a song in there, and what I started doing was just like chopping little the kicks up, chop a snare from another song, and then I would just start playing around with like the patterns and stuff like that. And that's how I first got started into producing. I was like, wait.
So you were mixing and mashing up in Windows Movie Maker?
Yes. Yes. That's how I started. And I was just, and it was kind of like an accident or whatever. And I was just playing around, and I was just like, this is kind of cute.
That's creative. That's they will find a way to use what they have to create. And
absolutely. That's the thing. So thank you. And that was my start. I don't know how much you want me to keep going on.
I want you to give me all you can give with that.
So basically, that was kind of my way of escaping like a lot of things that was just heavy. One, for me being a queer person in a Black, religious, military household, that was no, not at all. So that was a switch. And it also, for a while, I almost kind of felt like my mom had betrayed me for a second, because it's like she started turning to her husband before me. And as I've gotten older, me and my mom's relationship is 100 right now. But we had that conversation, and it's just like, it was a shock. But at the same time, people are human. And, that's, was it, I get all over the place when I tell these stories. But was it traumatic in some cases? Yes. Did I learn a lot from that? Yes. And that's why I'm so passionate in everything that I do now. So flash forward, rewind back to doing Movies Maker, all that. I used to like have the cassette tapes. For those who don't know, I used to have those, the dual deck, and I used to have a little microphone. I used to act like I had my own radio show, all of that. And it just blossomed, and it just grew, and it became my escape. Like I would be lost in music for hours and hours and hours. I was like that with video games for a little bit, but music was just like,
it still dominates all, because our story is kind of fucking similar, the same. Parents, remarried, military, religion, music as the escape.
Right.
Mother feel like mother betraying you because she's going through it over the child. All this shit is I feel all that. And then you try to give your parents, you try to understand as you get older, okay, they're human.
Yes.
They had to live their own life.
Yes.
They had to make decisions to make them feel good as well and all of that. So you and I'm glad you're saying that because that's giving me like confirmation. Like everybody's going through some similar type shit in some fashion.
Oh yeah.
So
like there was a lot of things I was thinking about before coming on here. I was like, you know, should I be open about this? Should I talk about this? Should I talk about this? But at the same time, you know, and I was like, maybe I should be a little reserved. I was like, no, I'm going to be unapologetically myself. Please. Because, you know, visibility is important. Very, very, very important. If it wasn't for me, seeing people in the media who I could be like, oh, that's it. That's who I not 100%, but I relate to that, you know, and that kind of helped open the doors for me being able to be who I am. And still, it's still a continuous journey. I'm still growing and learning, but though without visibility and the importance of that, I wouldn't be where I am now. So, you know, I'm always thankful for my starts and the artists that I used to see. I used to like when I was living in that household, like I used to sneak downstairs, watch goodies, watch all the videos, all of the things like late at night. Watch when I saw the Sierra Goodies video and 1-2 Step and all of that came out. That was it. That was it. I was like, that's me. That is me.
I was going to just ask you, who was the first person you think you saw as a representation for you? Be like, that is who I am, or that's what I can relate to.
Two people. It was Sierra. It was some people have their feelings about this person, but honestly, it was RuPaul. That was the second person.
And you know what? I was gonna say RuPaul is the first person that I've seen that was gay, drag. That was the first person that I've seen like, okay, whatever that is, I'm interested in that life. Because Tu Wong Fu was the first movie.
I was just thinking about that. Because it's like, it's funny now looking back at like, Ru was in a lot of shit. A lot. And I didn't even know. I didn't even understand when I was younger. And then now that I'm getting older, I'm like.
Yeah, she was out in these streets in the 90s. And that was crazy.
Right. There's also another woman, her name is Jasmine, and she played on all of the shows. I just watched this documentary on Netflix, and I forgot what it's called. It's called Disclosure. It is.
Oh, I have not watched that. I need to watch that.
It is so good. So in talking about, and I always admired her, and she was actually Candace Kane was in one of Ru's videos, and I think it was A Little Bit of Love. And this is how much of a Ru fan I was. So and they were both just seeing them as these feminine goddess beings, like all together in like this spaceship type thing. I'm like, that's it. That's it.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on now? I needed to know more.
Yeah.
So your music, I'm never gonna get off that Windows Maker. That's where you popped out.
That's
I love that. That's the shit. Now you're not on Windows Media Movie Maker, whatever the fuck that shit is called. You're doing bigger things, and your things are being played everywhere. Like.
Now, here's the thing. Some of my friends at the time used to clown me because one of the programs that I used was Magic's Music Maker for a little while. It's like the $60 program at the time that I used to have. I used to be on it faithful. And people used to like rag it. But that's where my biggest hits came from. That's where Sniffles came from. That's where Is It On? I produced that in that. What else did I produce in that? For Works, like a lot of like my big like drag mixes and stuff like that. And I did a lot until I finally stepped up.
Oh, great.
But that's just goes. I'm able to work with what I have, and that's kind of that's also goes with my creativity and my makeup and all those times when I was in New York. And that's a whole we can segue to that soon. But yeah, that's just what I have to do.
I love a creative story because you have no choice but to get that creativity out of you, even if you don't have the shit you want to have at the moment. It'll get there. I promise you, because it started as an audio podcast. It's still audio too. It's gonna be on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio. That's a plug. But it's video. It's levels to this shit.
Absolutely.
Now, yes.
Absolutely.
When you're working hard and you didn't come from wealth or whatever you have, you gotta give it what you have. Now, go ahead.
I was gonna say, now mind you, don't get me wrong, when I grew up, we were never like we never really struggled. My whole family called me spoiled, which I can see that. But at the same time, though, it was like I had that, and like when I was living with my biological mother and my stepfather, like they were able to give me what I want, everything I want, but it would be like these masculine boy pants or something like that to like wear to school or something like that. Or it'll be like something, to make me look more mask or more like a guy or something like that. It was just like, no. It was like, I'm thankful, but it's just like, it for me, it was like, okay, we can get you anything you want, but you got to cut that gay shit out. I mean, that's basically what it gave.
That's pretty much. I feel you with that. 100%.
Yeah.
Now, back to, I really want to touch on your music because you're out here in these ballroom streets, and I want to just go to the first thing that, if people don't know heard anything of your music, I'm gonna give them a little taste with this shit right here.
Okay.
I'm pussy and soft with curve, no ways. Always serving with style and grace. Trust you gotta listen with eye contact. And if you don't, bitch, yes, I'm gonna throw shade. I'm cunt to boots. Yes, but still would make a bitch move. And I don't have much left to prove. Yes, I'm still around serving moods. I'm cunt to boots. Cunt to boots. I am cunt to boots. Cunt to boots.
I need it one more time.
I'm pussy and soft with curve, no ways. Always serving with style and grace. Trust you gotta listen with eye contact. And if you don't, bitch, yes, I'm gonna throw shade. I'm cunt to boots. Yes, but still would make a bitch move. And I don't have much left to prove. Yes, I'm still around serving moods. I'm cunt to boots. Cunt to boots. I am cunt to boots. Cunt to boots.
Oh. I could give y'all a clip because she got that on Spotify and all the streaming services, and they will not give me a copyright strike for playing her song.
That song was magic. Okay. Sanaya, the icon, Sanaya.
The icon.
I looked up to her so much, and even in her movements and how she vogues and performs, that was one of the things. I was like, I identify with her. I get that. I feel that. And I always admire her and her visibility in the community as well.
Yeah.
So we were booked in New Orleans, and she was there. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to vogue in front of Sanaya.
Ooh.
Oh shit. Bitch, like my icon, and I'm like freaking out.
Shit,
so we get there, and it's me and my daughters, and we get there, and we're like walking through the aisles, and I got to see my Q, who I hadn't seen in a very long time. It was amazing. I met Jack. Jack, I believe is Gucci now. If I don't. Don't remember who you're talking about. But y'all know who Jack is.
The former, if it's former or current, Ms. Rocky. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. So I got to meet all these people. And so like we're walking backstage, and all of a sudden, and tonight I'm just kind of in my zone. I'm just nervous. and Sanaya was over there. She was taking photos. I was like, there she is. There she is, girls. Oh my God. So I had turned around, and then I turned, and the next thing I see is her coming up to me. I'm like, girl. And she was like, no, don't give me all that. Don't give me all that, girl. We girl. And then it was just a hug. And then it was everything. So we cut to the end of the night. Well, in the middle of the night before the performances started and everything. We're backstage. And I walk up to Sanaya. I said, I want to do a song with you. She turns and she was like, okay, well, what a game. Something to that effect. Don't quote me because she can tell the story better than I can. So what she tells me is she was like, yeah, girl, another person just want to do a song, blah, 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 all this other kind of stuff. Next day, I hit her up. And I was like, hey, I still want to do the song. I'm really interested into it. She was like, okay, well, let's see what you're talking about. Then I sent her the beat. She instantly got inspired. And then that was it. That's how it happened. And every song that I have worked with her is actually, it's a mix of two things. It's a tribute to her. It's a tribute to the women in the community that I have been inspired by. And it tells a story. Each one, like there's Give That, there's Be Free, and there's Love the Girls. So each one of them that we've done has so much meaning to me.
It's a message too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And recently that song was just highlighted, yesterday by Pose's own Dominique.
Yes! Yes! I was like, huh? I'm here for it. Thank you, Icon. Thank you, Icon.
That's some awesome shit right there.
Yes.
I woke up and was scrolling. I was like, wait, I'm interviewing her tomorrow. Like, what the fuck? So that was
just like
it for you.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Every time somebody sends me a message, like there's so many people that message me and are like, I started voguing to your shit. I'm like, oh, that tells my age. But they were like, I started voguing to you. Like it was some of the first beats and mixes that I've heard that got me inspired to want to vogue. Like legends have told me this. And I'm just like,
what about the Asian, oh God, Ayo Sato? Those girls?
Oh my gosh, that was iconic. That was two of my songs. Well, one was Sniffles, and then two was Valentine and I. And then they ate it the fuck up.
They ate that shit the fuck up. I wish I had a clip to give y'all, but I don't, because I don't know how their copyright shit is gonna be working over there. And so I didn't look at that. So
but y'all can find it. Y'all can find it.
That. Ayo Sato.
Yeah.
Ayo Sato. AYASATO. B.Ames. Boom. It should give you what you need. Now you're also I'm gonna slide into this real easy. Like you're a house mother.
Yes.
And what is your house?
Okay, house B. That's the core of it. It was actually, if we're telling all the tea, when I was living in Ohio, my first drag daughter, she was. This was before the house even started. This was years ago, and then we kind of just stopped communicating with each other because then I was young. I was like out, and I didn't understand like responsibility and all this other kind of stuff, and the importance it is of being a parent or being a drag parent, whatever, house ballroom parent, anything like that, or being a mentor. And I didn't completely understand that at that time, but at the same time, we went out, we did what we did, and then a lot of things happened, and then we separated. Flash forward to 2000, I think, 19, we met again. We both moved to New Orleans around the same time. And then that's how I met my other daughters. And that's how it happened. And so now that I'm able to look back and look now, for me being a mother, I used to put so much pressure on myself. Because one, I was just like, I would like to be, how do I put it? One, I never really saw myself being a mother. I will say that I never really saw myself, because I was like, okay, I don't have this. I don't have like a house where if they need to come stay, they can come stay. I'm not like 100% financially stable just yet, and all these other kind of things. And that's a thing that went through my head. But as I got older, it just kind of happened organically. And that's what I appreciate. And what it feels like to be a mother, it means it's mentorship. It's a connection. It's a family bond. It's a connection through creativity.
Yes.
I thought House B was going to be like this ballroom house and all that. And then I was like, that's not all that I am. Although that's a huge part of what it is that I do, and things and steps to how I am here now and how my music has evolved. And it's a heavy part of my sound. But I'm like, we don't have to do just that. Right. We aren't limited to that. So, and we kind of expand, and we just do whatever the fuck we want to do. And I mean, every one of my girls are so talented, so creative, so smart, so kind, so genuine. Some of them get me together when I need to be got together, but that's the thing. I've learned just as much from them as they have from me. And that's one thing that it's the most beautiful thing to me. And I love it. Absolutely love it.
For you letting them hold you accountable as well shows that you are a good mother, in my understanding of a mother and what a mother should be. And you're given that. So, hey, kudos to House B. Ballroom.
Yes.
Now, Pose has been taking Ballroom up into the forefront of things. It's been out here. People have known about Ballroom recently in the past decade before Pose. But Pose really showed the real human side of it, because, they, to the straights, to the others, to show a human side of it, to show it's relatable and how they fit into it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How Pose started that off with the straight man fucking around with Angel and all of that. I like how they brought them right in, bitch, and exposed a lot of that. So so Pose really put it in the forefront where people would see themselves and question themselves or whatever. And now we have Legendary, which is on HBO, which your song was played in that as well by, you're in the
exclusive House of Lanvin.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to get back into this, but Lanvin, that first thing, I don't know what kind of politics they got going over in Legendary and HBO, but you motherfuckers fucked up when you didn't give it to Lanvin. And that Red, when they walked through and Erica ate all the people's up. And that one, all that shit.
Let me tell you something. I always, since I was when I first started getting my feet wet into anything ballroom, I always had this vision. I was like, I would love to see like how there's the Olympics and stuff like that played all the time. I would love to see like a ball, like huge balls played on TV, like everywhere and things like that. And then now we have Legendary, and years later, and I'm just like,
it's amazing to me that it's at that level, because if it's gonna go to anywhere, HBO is the place to do that shit, to give it the budget that it needs, and you can say whatever the fuck you want to do on there. And I think that's needed in Ballroom, to be able to express yourself freely. Ain't no editing and all that shit.
Absolutely.
But I had to get on the House of Lanvin. Now, and what do you see? How do you see Ballroom right now? After all this notoriety out here, people are now really trying to be all of in the ballroom scene. And how do you feel about that?
Here's one thing that I've noticed. Just like any type of community or anything like that, well, especially, I'll just say specifically ballroom,
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed over the years, everything just evolves naturally and changes. Like, you know how like there's always the times where people be like, well, you know, when people are like, back in my day, this was
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's very, very that. But I do see ballroom continuing to open up and grow. And because there are, like, don't get me wrong, I'm in ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
I create music, and I would like to be way more involved into it. Yes, I walk balls, all that, but I create the sound. I'm part of the sound. I've DJ'd balls, I've commentated at it, but I would like to be more into it. So that's why sometimes I don't consider myself 100% in it, but I am in it. And I'm
gonna say this. I don't want to interrupt, but baby,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pour me a shot off this one. Baby,
Okay.
you make the sound. Do you know how important that is?
Yeah.
Without the people walking in there click clacking with nothing going on, the sound, all you hear is heels and boots and click clacking with no beat in that bitch.
See, that's the thing. When I first started, like Vonalore, hello, Mike Q, Angel X, these were the people I first started. Kevin, Greg, these were the first people, Jay Karan, of course. These were the people who I first started listening to when I got into ballroom. Quick story. Quick, long, somewhere in there.
I'm good.
Okay, so when I first discovered ballroom, when I was this is when I was living in Virginia, and I met some friends, and I was like, oh, there are other people like me. Oh, right. Shit. So, and like I used to have to sneak on my phone at night to talk to them and stuff like that. My mom doesn't know that, but now she knows. So I used to like sneak on the phone and all that to talk to them, and that was actually my first house mother and my first experience with a ballroom family. And they're like, oh, you never heard of like voguing and all this other kind of stuff? I was like, no, I haven't. By this time I was already doing music, and I was already putting my voice to everything and practicing. So then they directed me to YouTube. I think one of the first clips I saw, it was 2 clips. One of the first clips I saw was Javier Ninja, and Javier was getting their 10s. I think it was at the Latex Ball. I don't know what year, but ate it the fuck up. That one, and I think it was a clip of Leomi, and Leomi was voguing, and I think she like spilled the cups on the table and stuff. Like she was carrying.
Yeah.
She was carrying. And I was just like, huh? Like this was a whole new world for me. And then also I'm watching battles and things like that, which I didn't understand at the time. And then like I'm just hearing the music playing, and then I'm hearing the commentator chanting and doing all that. I'm like, why don't they just let the music play? Why are they on the mic and stuff like that? I didn't understand the importance of that.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother at the time, she was like, why don't you make me a Vogue beat chanting my name? I said, okay. So I did it, and it actually was really, really, really cute. And because of the experience that I've already started to have with music, and then adding that element, the crash, all of that, it just gave me a whole new feeling. I was like,
there it is.
This is it. Oh, like Sanai would say, that's something in that. Like it gave me that. It's like all my life. It's just I feel like I've had these things that have kind of been like, I guess, alerting me to myself to come into my true self and express myself as me. And ballroom was one of them. Music, producing, ballroom, drag. It all just kind of weaves itself together for me. So
I'm just telling you, your look, the more I take and the more I hit this drink, your look just gives me more and more and more. It's giving me Goth Storm, X-Men,
thank you. And This is toned down for me.
I mean, the more I want to see him look like she's giving me so Stormy ex Wolverine's daughter.
Thank you.
All of the things. I am a huge Marvel fan. I love it all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Now, we've discussed, where do you see Ballroom continuing to evolve, which I do see.
Yes, I see it continuing to evolve and grow, especially after when Corona is gone,
when she leaves,
when she's escorted out of the building. I do think that there is going to be, because I'll be sitting here and I have my Vogue sessions to myself, feeling it, put my heels on. I'm just like, I need to be out right now. I need to be get my tens. I need to be with people and feeling it. So I definitely do feel like Ballroom's never going anywhere.
Right.
Second, I do feel like it's going to just explode even more than what it already is. Because online, where there are balls that are happening online. My brother does OTA on Bigo. There are balls happening, like Ballroom. People still are needing that, and I still need that. I still need that communication with people and to be around my kind, around my tribe, around my girls. Even though I'm still a little weird, but like I still, it's my heart.
Let me tell you a secret.
What?
I'm doing too. Now, I'm gonna say now. This is where I start saying shit that most people wouldn't say.
Okay.
So now, when we get into Legendary, I want to speak on that really quickly, and we're gonna talk about the House of Ninja.
Okay.
And you were talking about Ballroom evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you worried with all of its evolution that it will evolve and to become more gentrified? And I'm not talking about including the white faces into our spaces. I'm talking about them taking Ballroom and making Ballroom try to make it theirs. Are you worried about that with it becoming more mainstream? Or is that not even a word? Because I mentioned the House of Ninja because I was like, I didn't see them, and because they were winning. Now, if they weren't winning against the people that I know should have won, I wouldn't have had a problem with them being there. Right. But when they started winning continuously, and I know they shouldn't have, now that gave me a problem. Gave me pause. Gave me pause. Like, something is afoot. Now, how do you? Or is that a worry, or do you have a more optimistic look about it?
I can see it on both sides.
Okay.
Because I can see, for example, one person who I was who's still cool with, was talking about how, and they're very vocal about it.
Yeah.
But how, like, you just because you put a crash on a beat does not make it a ballroom beat. And I say that because just because you're in the scene, and I'm still learning. There's still a lot that I'm learning. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, just because it's interesting. It's been said it's not a fad. This is a life for people. This is a life this is a community. This is a family for people. That's why I said one is never gonna go away. When it comes to authenticity and things like that, the girls who are the girls in the scene are going to keep it as it should be. Right. But I do think Ballroom at the same time, because of how the origins started, and everybody needs a place to feel loved and accepted, and not everybody, unfortunately, not everybody gets that at home. Right. And not everybody gets that just in their general life. Mm-hmm. So I say, if you are going to be a part of it, it's good to have your research or have people who are in the scene or who know something about it. Now I can go back and forth with that, because a lot of the things that I've learned, I grew up with people who were just kind of getting into the scene. For example, my brother Lego, Lego Jovera, love him. We met on YouTube. We actually met on YouTube, and I taught myself how to vote from just watching the clips, practicing. I never had a teacher, and that was the same with Lego. And that's how a lot of us met. It was me, Diwali, Beak. That's how we all met around that time. And then my Q, legendary my Q, the DJ was like, "Oh, do you want to be in Queen Bee?" Because I live for your shit. I was like, okay.
That's
yeah. And that's how that happened. And so, and I understand that. Like, just because you put a crash on something doesn't make it a ballroom beat. But my sound is very much that I call myself the Lavender Underground folk pop entity. Ooh. And I say that it's evolved, but I say that because one, my sound is very underground in what it is that I do. And some people will be like, oh, I can't hear that necessarily on the mainstream and all that stuff. I can hear ballroom being played on the radio, beats. And that's one thing that I strive for. I would make posts. I'm like, we need more ballroom artists to be more out there. And it's happening. It's actually happening. And mind you, we have been, but now obviously there's more exposure and more light to it. I do think, though, there are some people who can take it and just, because it's the hot thing and it's fab, let's throw a crash on it, say purr cat pussy cunt and go about our business.
No, that's
but it's a hard. I can see it from both sides. That's the thing. But I do understand wanting to explore ballroom. Ballroom is for everybody, but I do feel like there's a way you can go about doing it. That's just me.
You picked the right word. You said, do your research, and I'm gonna add don't appropriate. If you're gonna do some shit, include the originals, include the people that are currently in it. Don't try to make your own shit and call it yours.
Yes.
Y'all know who you are.
Like I always say, like folk pop entity. It's a hybrid. It's true to ballroom, like from what I do, but at the same time, I put my pop elements. Honey, you check my receipts. I have done like straight ballroom stuff, but I've always kind of had that love of mixing sounds and things like that. And that's I just love that. I love the fusion but I can still authentically give ballroom at the same time. And I'm not the only one, though. There are other artists. I was just listening to somebody on SoundCloud the other day. There's so many talented ballroom artists out there. And I'm just like,
Speaking of other talented ballroom artists, this is coming from support from your community now.
Okay. Didn't do it.
Now, do you think that it's been you're saying I believe ballroom music can be played on the radio. I believe,
absolutely.
And a lot of times on dance radio stations, they sneak some of that shit in all the time. And house music and ballroom music is always snuck into those dance stations on XM radio, Sirius radios. I hear it. So it definitely can be played on mainstream radio.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, do you feel like a problem is because a lot of artists like yourself who do make music for ballroom do you feel it's a cohesive environment to collaborate with each other most of the time, or is it I can't, this bitch is gonna take what I'm doing and I don't, or do you feel like you get the support you need?
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this. But as a ballroom artist, we sample so much. We're like ballroom, a really good nasty ballroom beat has some samples, has the ha. We'll have this work this pussy. We'll have the all of those legendary Kevin Aviance, Din Da Dog, the George Kranz version, the original. It's very, there are lots of samples, and it's actually in dedication to those people and paying tribute to it. And it's that's the thing with it. So at one point for me, I'm getting off topic, but at one point for me, I was just kind of like, when it comes to support, I'll just answer the question. When it comes to support for working with other people, I love working with other artists, and I've had so many artists who've come to me and genuinely wanted to work with me, and who I've wanted to work with as well. I'm thankful I've been able to have that support with what it is that I do. I can't speak on anybody else.
True.
That's just me. I love working with other artists. It took me a while because I was so used to doing everything on my own. I was just so used to doing everything just by myself. But one of the biggest things that have happened recently was listening to my sister Tiana and Icon Sanaya. Like literally, we'll be in the and that this ties into support. Like we'll be sitting there because we have some songs that are in the works that I cannot wait for y'all to hear. But we're just literally, we're in a hotel room. We had just did a photo shoot or whatever. And we're just going back and forth on the mic, recording and things like that. And we're writing just organically, because it's nothing like being in a room with people while you're creating. Woo. So, but I was a little thrown because she was like, try to say it like this, try to say it like in this voice. And I'm just like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. And she will tell you this. And I was just like, I know what I'm doing. And then my sister will say the same thing. Yeah, why don't you just try it? Just try it. I'm just like, but that taught me to listen. That's one thing. And then I would try doing different things with my voice and all this. And I was just like, okay, I guess y'all are right. This was cute. This is cute. Yeah. You know, and that opened my ears. So as far as support for me, and especially in the ballroom, I have it. And that's one thing that I'm so thankful for. Yeah. Just even outside of the ballroom community, I have that. I know there are some other girls who may not have that same experience. I was just talking to someone the other day. They've had unfortunately, some bad experiences with ballroom and people who are supposed to be their family and things like that. And I'm just like, it's just different. And I listen because I've had such the opposite. Right. So I don't know how to answer that question.
You answered it.
Okay.
You answered it amazingly, because that's a difficult question. Most of these questions will have two sides because you're not a simple-minded person. So you're going to think of both aspects. Yeah. So I accept that answer. I mean, you answered it.
Okay, thank you.
Because to have that support system is really a great thing for you, especially in ballroom, especially in music. Yeah. And that's great. And I'm glad to hear it personally.
Thank you. Like, ballroom isn't all that I do too. I do songs with, like, you know, RuPaul's Drag Race girls. I do songs with just other artists who are wanting to create. Mm-hmm. When I was just saying this to one of my girls, I was like, one of the things that makes me the happiest is being able to, like I said, I don't know everything, but the things that I had to learn the hard way, like registering your music and where the best distribution sites and, you know, copyright and all that stuff. Like a lot of that stuff I had to learn myself, and like what's the best equipment for this, what we can do in our budget. And I love being able to help other people and tell them, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you lay it out. This is what I've learned. And here's some options. I love being able to do that. and to be able to also eventually teach other people what I've learned. So
do you do that for everyone or just people close to you? Tell them.
Oh no, I don't do that for everybody.
Okay. I was going to say, now, don't you be giving away that intellectual property.
No, because at the same time people do, I am a very hands-on. I learn
Yeah.
by just diving into it. And if I really can't get it, then I might go Google something. But like that's just how I am. And I do also feel like when you just play with it yourself and experiment, you get that understanding. Like that's just, it's in you. It just gets in you. So
you speaking, because you're right. That's yes, I have experience with that, but you're definitely right. Now, do you, with all of this that you're doing, just working with what you have and still succeeding and coming up, do you have any tips for the children, the girls, the boys, all the ones in between and are not in any list?
It's been said before, time and time again, but it's one thing. My girlfriend JoJo, Club Kid, that's one of my ride or dies. She always reminds me to be yourself. That's one thing. I've had experiences just because I got to the level that I am, so to speak, just because I love doing what I'm doing, doing what I do and having fun with it and being able to it just so happened I'm able to make a career out of it. And I'm so thankful for that. That's one thing. If you don't love it and if you don't feel it, give it a break. Come back to it. And if you're still not feeling it, I think also things for success, I think genuinely in life, for me personally, one thing that holds me back with things with success is that programming that I've had from growing up, from dealing with religion. Telling me I can't, always constantly in my head telling me, oh, I can't be femme. Oh, I can't be queer. I can't be non-binary. I can't do this. I can't, I can't while I'm, I can, just all those things that like stop me from just genuinely, just being myself. And I think unlearning certain patterns and being able to open up to new things. You don't have to take it in. You don't have to, just try it out and see. Like small example, simple example, just girl, re-record it in this voice. Try it, see how it sounds.
Right.
If it don't work, it don't work. If it do, it do. That's just it. I say play with it. Just do experiment. Just enjoy it. Just that's it. I think it'll happen. It's interesting to me because once again, another conversation I just had with a girlfriend of mine is it's interesting because there are some people who feel like, necessarily they don't know what they want to do with their life and their direction and things like that. And I'm like, and I see like, bitch, do you know how many things you're talented in and how much shit that you can do? And you put it together. And she know who I'm talking about.
And you know what? I think the problem with that is, I will speak on that. People who are so creative and multifaceted in that way, they feel like they have to really give all their attention to this, and they can't. It's going to be too much to try to accomplish all of this. What I'm good at, they don't. It's a lot of pressure for a creative to really take into avenues of what all of the things that they're good at, whether it be fashion, whether it be music, where it be the things that
See, the thing, one of the business, like just from a business aspect, just in general, one of the women that I look up to, T.S. Madison.
Oh,
constantly.
Let me tell you, yes. She is amazing.
She does it all. She can do all, and she can do more.
And she does it all while being herself. That's what.
Yes.
That's what blows my shit. Like, she don't give a fuck. She has tact. She knows she knows what to take it to certain limits. But most of the time, she's gonna say exactly how she feels, and she still is successful in that. So I respect her a lot. I look up to her a lot, and hey,
same. It's beautiful seeing someone like her that I can be like, I can see myself in that and be able to like,
yeah,
it's possible.
Anything is possible. She really, like, people really, I ain't gonna give this into a T.S. Madison praise session, but what she's done for herself in her career, where she's been, and literally it's fucking an amazing story to watch her see what she accomplishes and continues to innovate and accomplish.
Absolutely.
She is the queen of digital media, this forum, these kind of platforms. She runs this shit. Period. Absolutely. And I'm including the straight folks. So that's for you motherfuckers that's haters.
Absolutely.
And go ahead, please. Please go ahead.
No, I look at her and it's the women in my life, especially Black women, especially the women who so happen to be of the trans experience, who have especially have lately, it's just everything that I've learned, and learning is just like bubbling out of me, and it's coming out, and I'm watching and I'm growing, and it's just like, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful with when it comes to Ballroom. Like the fact that Give That came out, and it did the first song I ever actually officially published was Is It On with T.S. Madison. And that's still the number one. People to this day talk about like, oh, I love Is It On, I love Is It On, I love Is It On. I'm like,
because that's a staple. That's like a staple in her niche. That's her. Is it on? Is this bit recorded?
Yes.
That's a staple, and you are part of that staple in the music aspect. You are. So
but like I'm thankful to have been able to work with her. I'm thankful to still continue to see her grow and develop and to be where she's at, and she's only going to continue to rise. So
she is. Shout out Maddie. We love you, baby.
Love you, Madison.
And now, can we just, before we close, I want to touch on two things. These dope ass graphics. I listened to this song a few times. Love it. That's out on Spotify right now, everybody. Please.
Yes.
Her Spotify page. And is it on all streaming services?
Yes, absolutely.
So Amazon.
Absolutely.
Amazon, iHeart,
Google Play, Miss Pandora, all of the things.
Y'all know what the fuck y'all streaming at. And this here, Mississippi.
That's me.
There it is.
This is how I see myself, especially when I do videos, everything like that. Even in everyday life, that's what I embody. That's what I feel, and that's how I am. Of course, there are days where I just want to be just like a regular girl, my bonnet on, whatever. Right. But like that, it's almost like it's weird because it's like best way I can translate it is like cosplaying yourself. But it's actually seeing that. The artist who drew that is Daryl Pion, and Daryl, I love you. You know I love you. Hope I said your last name correctly, but he actually did the artwork for that. What I do, I work with him a couple of times on the reaction artwork, some artwork before that, and they're so talented. What I do is I sketch out the base draft idea of how I want it to look, give them the ideas, and he just elevates it. And I'm just like, that's it.
I love it. I think this bitch can whoop ass in fucking any anime. And she's getting all of the things. All of them. And B.Ames, I am so so indebted to you, and thank you for doing this for me. And you don't know how much it means to me, really. But before I let you go, I'm gonna do two things. One is I'm gonna hit this beat one more time.
I'm pussy and soft with curve, no waist. Always serving with style and grace. Trust you gotta listen with eye contact. And if you don't, bitch, yes, I'm gonna throw shade. I'm cunt boots. Yes, but still would make a bitch move. And I don't have much left to prove. Yes, I'm still around serving moods. I'm cunt boots. Cunt boots. I am cunt boots. Cunt boots.
Bitch, I wish they could see you voguing in the backstage because I seen every move. I wish they could see. Hold the fuck on. I ain't gonna do it. What? I was gonna give it to him. I'm gonna play the beat for you and give you that you do a little song for us.
Oh, not just yet.
I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. Yeah, B.Ames, I'm gonna give you the entire screen to say where the people can follow you, wherever you want to follow you at. Just please give them that information. Whatever else you want to tell them, it's all on you, baby.
Okay. Hi. Okay, so you can find me. Sorry. You can find me IG B.Ames. Actually, you can find me on my website, and then BAmesofficial.com has everything there. Twitter B_AMES, and get ready for B.Ames Entertainment.
Get ready for B.Ames Entertainment, and I will tag BAmesofficial.com in your Twitter and Instagram on this video after we get off. And I want to thank you. Now, don't you go anywhere. I'm going to close this show out, but don't you leave this room, okay?
Okay, I won't. Okay.
And I thank y'all for watching this. And before I leave y'all and dip, I'm going to
Display the profile of this team.
And again, thank you for watching Sweet the Podcast. Please follow it on Sweet the Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that shit on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, all of those shits. Anywhere you can listen to a podcast and anywhere you can watch shit besides IG Live, still working with that, you can watch it. So please take care of yourself, take care of each other, because it's still the pandemic out here in these streets. So I holla.